bright, beautiful morning to you. Top of the morning to you. Ekaro, Ototoma, o, bonjour. Give me another language.
Speak Hausa now.
I forgot in my house. But yes, good morning. Naoni, Lafia. Yeah, day.
Yeah, Kiki.
Yes, good morning from wherever you're listening from. This is Lagoonradio, your number one online gospel radio broadcasting from Marina, Lagos State, Nigeria. And of course, we are powered by the Diocese of Lagos, Anglican Communion, just in case you're not aware. Today is the 28th day in the month of June. This month has literally ended,
Yes, it has.
And of course, if you check your time, it's 33 minutes past 9 a.m. here in our Lagos studio. My name is Abigail Mba, but you can call me Abu Abi. And I have my darling, amazing, beautiful, sunshine, black don't crack. Darling, popping co-host, Shabi Olegbe Taiwo Ajola, aka DJ Shab. Good morning. How's your weekend now?
My weekend.
I had a party.
It was just there. Honestly.
I will cast you.
Yeah, no, cast out.
Okay, all right, don't worry. We'll do this off air. Okay. Anyway, yes, it's time for the newspaper review, where we're going to be giving you the headlines on the top newspapers here in Nigeria in no particular order at all. And some of the newspapers we're going to be going through today, we have the New Telegraph, we have the Nigerian Tribune, we have Business Day newspaper, we have the Blueprint newspaper, we have Leadership newspaper, and yes, that's okay. Yeah, we have This Day, we have News Direct, and we have the Vanguard newspaper as well as the Daily Times newspaper, and we will be taking them, like I said, in no particular order. All right, starting off with the New Telegraph newspaper.
Okay. Good morning once again.
Good morning.
All right, the very top of the New Telegraph newspaper, we have Nigeria owes World Bank, IMF, $14.99 billion.
Wahala is flying in the country.
NBS. The story is at the very front page, but you can continue reading on page 5. Also, Auditor General indicts MPA of financial infractions. You can get that story on page 3. Boldly written at the very front page of the New Telegraph, we have appointment. Investigation confirms North got most key positions. And the writer to that says, in the past 6 years of Buhari administration.
Yes, and this is actually because the Buhari administration has been saying that when it comes to appointments, they have been fair with it. Like every region has a representative somewhere. But honestly speaking, I mean, take a very good look at it. You literally have northerners in every sector. And
they
if
are
you compare,
more than all the regions.
Exactly. If you compare the number of northerners you have in government offices or government houses, it outweighs that of people from other regions. And this is we are a very diverse people. We have different cultures, different people, and every culture should be that's a culture. Literally, yes, everyone should be every tribe should be represented. This is one Nigeria. So they've investigated and they have confirmed it. So yeah, I want to see what the president says in defense to this one.
Okay, so we have the first team and the second team, and on the first team we have aide-de-camp to President Lieutenant Colonel Abubakar Lawal, that's from the Northwest. Special Advisor Media and Publicity Femi Adesina, that's from Southwest. Senior Special Assistant Media and Publicity Gad Bashiru, Northwest. State Chief of Protocol Special Assistant Lawal Kazauri, Northwest. And on the second team, we have aide-de-camp to President Lieutenant Colonel Yusuf Dodo, Northwest. Are you people counting? Are you people following me?
We are.
Chief of Defense Staff General Lucky Irabo, South, just one. Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Ibrahim Atairu, Northwest. Chief of Naval States Rear Admiral Zubeiru Gambo, northwest.
And of course, the list continues. If you check page 2 of the New Telegraph, this is to tell you, in all of this, we have northwest, and we have just one south,
and one south.
So you can imagine. And we have the north, we have the east, we have the north central, we have the middle belt, we have all of this that makes up Nigeria, and we have this much northerners in offices. Like, no, that's unfair.
And long and short of it, everything is just in his favor. And at the very bottom, again, we have insecurity with raw policemen attached to VIPs to secure campuses. Students urge Inspector General of Police. Unijos employed hunters to protect students. Oh God.
I'm sorry.
Unijos, University of Jos, employed hunters to protect students.
This is the vice chancellor. This is I'm not supposed to be laughing. This is not a funny thing, but
sounds funny, actually.
But it is funny that it has gotten to the extent where we are not employing hunters to do the job of the police in the school. I mean, is this not funny?
It is
actually. Is this not funny?
So what happens to the VIPs securing? I mean,
that's what they're saying. We draw.
So
there are so many
meant to come to protect the students.
There are so many. Like somebody was saying, if you just blow now, if you just have small change in your account, you go and collect escorts. You go and collect escorts. This is a policeman who should be on field. What's chasing you? What are they protecting you from? You're not the president. You're not the vice president. You're honestly not that big of a deal, right? But you go and collect 2 policemen. They'll be saluting you. They open the door for you. And we have insecurity in this country. We draw those people from those VIPs.
And place them at the necessary
they are private security agencies, right? They are private security outfits. If you feel like you have gotten to that stage in life where you're so important that you need to be walking around with escorts, go to private security agencies and get one. Pay for one. They will give you escort. They will give you hillocks.
Even the ones those bouncers. Ones. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
They will give you, but stop making a ridicule of the Nigerian police. By the time you do small, I don't want to say you're doing fraud, but like by the time you just blow.
That's why we're having the problem that we're having today.
Honestly, we should have more police people actually doing their job, not chasing the tail of one person in the name of he's a VIP. That's not going to help this country in any way whatsoever. I'm not a VIP. How many police is following?
All right, can get that story on page 3. And at the very bottom, this is about health. New blood tests can detect 50 cancers. Wow. Study had reviewed. You can continue reading that on page 25 of the New Telegraph.
Okay, and then moving on to the Nigerian Tribune. Epileptic power supply cost Nigerians economy 10 trillion loss annually. The World Bank is saying this, and right after that it says 30% MSMEs still depend on generating sets. That can be found on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune. And caveat emptor, there's a public service announcement that the hotel is not for sale. If you want to find out what hotel that is, you can check that on page 6 and 7 of the Nigerian Tribune. But talking about power supply in Nigeria, like they use the word epileptic. You know when something is epileptic, yeah? That's how the power supply in Nigeria is. 1 minute is on, the next minute is off.
It's very terrible.
It's unstable, right? And it's costing this country's economy, not the country's economy, 10 trillion naira loss annually. Do you know how many businesses that have started but had to shut down because by the time you start buying fuel to power your generators for 24 hours, right?
You're gonna run out of loss.
Now the cost of fuel has gone up.
Yes.
Even if you say you're using diesel, it doesn't make it any easier. Do you know how much these diesel generators are? By maintenance, and then it is hard to run a business in Nigeria.
Very hard.
So sometimes investors come to this country and they want to actually do business, but then you look at how much you're going to be putting in and what are you getting back in return. Some of these businesses, they pack up and leave to the nearest African country. I read an article recently that said Ghana, our brothers in the Ghanaian country, Ghana has made it to the list of one of the most peaceful places to live in the world. Ghana. And we're here. we're
Still
here. You know,
struggling.
it's very sad, honestly speaking.
Well, yes, still struggling.
Well, always have we ever not have we ever not struggled? Anyway, if you're not following us on social media yet, please do well to follow us on social media. On Instagram, we are at Lagoon Radio NG. On Facebook, it's Lagoon Radio Nigeria. And if you're on Facebook right now, if you want to see our faces, you can go to our Facebook page. We're streaming live. Like I said, it's Facebook/Lagoon Radio Nigeria. You get to connect with us. Leave us a comment, your suggestions, your feedback. We want to take all of it. And of course, you can also watch us live on our YouTube channel at LagoonTV. So you just search LagoonTV and you'll be able to connect with us live at the moment. And of course, do well to also download our app if you have friends and family outside of the country who you would love for them to enjoy the content, the premium content that we give to you. Encourage them to download the Lagoon Radio app. You can get them on Google Store, Google Play Store or Apple Store. And of course, you can also listen via the website, which is www.lagoonradio.ng. Yes. All right, continuing with the newspaper.
All right, moving on to the business day. 6 countries show Nigeria's poverty reduction goal is achievable. So now 6 countries have come to show that it's
poverty. Yes, poverty reduction goal in this country. It's very honestly, if the government is ready to work, right? If is ready to put in the work, you will see that this country will become the best. Honestly speaking, because first of all, the people are already hardworking. Nigerians are already hardworking. With how bad the economy is, with how bad things are, we're talking about power, the epileptic power supply, we're talking about insecurity. And with all of this in place, people in this country, Nigerians are still giving it their best to survive, right? So if the government on their own part are actually ready to elevate poverty, this the president saying they have brought out 100 million people from poverty. Me, I don't know the 100. I don't know where they're getting the statistics from, you know.
It's definitely going to be from
trader money. I don't. You know, but honestly, if the government are really ready, even Nigerians will work with the government to bring out a better Nigeria. We are not supposed to be poor. We have too many resources to be poor. We have way too many natural resources. Do you know that some countries, they have just one natural resource? Some of them don't even have natural resources. I've been talking about one. And they have created technology is working in their favor. Look at China. What does China have? Technology. Is technology a natural resource? No. It's a man-made thing. But look at how China has used that and become the world power country. We have so many things at our disposal that if we utilize it, this country, they're going to carry visa entire. Yes, we move.
All right, the story is there at the very front page, but you can continue the reading on page 31 of Business Day newspaper. And beside it, we have fear of power loss keeps Buhari from ending wasteful petrol subsidy. Yeah, you can continue reading that story as well on page 33 of the Business Day newspaper. And also we have, here is why Nigeria's economy is on edge. If you want to find out more about this, you get that on page 26. And also drug abuse in Nigeria rising to emergency level. MTN Foundation has come out to say. And you can find the story on page 30 of the Business Day newspaper.
All right, moving on to the Punch newspaper. On the Punch there, Auditor General queries NPA's 44 billion naira unremitted taxes, 88 billion naira admin spending. You can find the story on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. INEC projects 20 million new voters as CVR begins today. Yes. Go and register to vote, please. This is not time for Twitter war. This is not time for social media campaign. Obviously, that is not going to... I'm not saying that's not going to work, but that is not enough to bring the change that we are all clamoring for. Go and register. The registration has started. It starts online. You can visit the INEC website and then, do your CVR first and then proceed to the physical centers.
Easy, so you can actually begin the step.
We'll pray that website will not break down. But yeah,
Amen.
please go and register.
The earlier the better.
The earlier the better. All right, so yes, that can be found on page 9 of the Punch newspaper. Federal government widens revenue base, plans taxes for global tech giants. That can be found on page 23 of the Punch newspaper. APC power blocks begin battle. Buhari's defunct party eyes chairmanship. That is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Super TV CEO family threatens suit, alleges media publishing falsehood. I said it. Now this is in case you're not aware what this is. This is the whole what has been trending all through the weekend. The Chile man, the young lady who murdered Sugar Daddy. So the family of the man are threatening to sue. They are saying the media is publishing falsehood. We don't know what's false. Okay, we don't know. But if you want to find out, you can find out on page 4 and page 5 of the Punch newspaper. And at the very top of the newspaper, at the heading, the two that is standing out there, you can see petrol landing cost hits 232 naira. Subsidy rises to 5.58 billion naira daily.
We're getting there.
We reserve our comment on that. Well, the rider under that story is April landing cost 216 naira. Devaluation, rising crude price, fueling price increase, rising subsidy payment reduces funds for infrastructure developments. Rewane is saying that. And then there is an image on the front page newspaper. Are these Indians though? Okay, I think people traveling. Okay, well, moving on from that, still on the Punch newspaper, 20 million naira ransom demand for our monarch too high. Family of Ekiti King is complaining. So they are demanding 20 million naira ransom. No, why? Because they think he's a king.
So does it?
Or it's a royalty.
Does it print money?
But these kidnappers, like. This money safe.
What do they think or how do they think someone would have that kind of money?
No, even if someone has that kind of money, is kidnapping a means of livelihood? What if you get caught? What if you get killed? Like, why are you risking your life this much?
That's why they are so strong. Like, they don't care.
Their conscience is sealed, right?
It's a life and death thing for them, so they're ready to take the risk.
Okay. Still on the Punch newspaper. You can get that story on page 9, and then protest continues as Oba claims APC ticket for Anambra governor's poll. That can be found on page 27 of the Punch newspaper. And still on protest in Kwara community as gunmen kill pregnant woman and kidnap her husband. That can be found on page 26. Gunmen, unknown gunmen. We need to put a face to this gunmen whole thing issue already. Atiku group wants ex-VP PDPs as consensus presidential candidates. That can be found on page 27 of the Punch newspaper. Last mile officials are absconded with my bleeding wife. Ooh.
Yes, and
stole 150,000 naira. Businessman. That can be found on page 4 and 5. Like, last mile official absconded with his bleeding wife.
Yes, and took 150,000 naira from you.
So what I'm trying to understand is that they jumped into the cars they used to do and then drove off. What was the plan? Were they trying to... Wow. This is really sad. Well, lastly on the Punch newspaper, Nigeria now a disputed project. Stop fresh loans. Okiwe, Akintoye, and others are saying, yes, that can be found on page 9 of the Punch newspaper. Stop fresh loans. We have borrowed enough.
We already said it. We're
don't sell us.
Keep borrowing and keep borrowing.
Don't sell us.
All right.
Okay.
Moving on to the leadership newspaper. We have states employers' liabilities cut 2.6 trillion naira of pension fund assets. Well, the writer to the story says errant firms face prosecution, cough out 18 billion naira. You can continue reading that story on page 4 of the leadership newspaper. And boldly written on the front page, we have restructuring. PMB queries Niger Delta Avengers threat to resume hostilities. You can get that story on page 4. And the writer to that says, I'm committed to restructuring development of region. Frowns at 90-day ultimatum 48 hours after responding to German issues in meeting with regional leaders. You can get that story, like I said, on page 4 of the leadership newspaper. We could see pictures of children on the front page of that. Can get that story on page 5. And also at the very bottom, we have governors, ministers in Kano to finalize Yusuf Buhari's wedding.
As how is this a national issue?
I don't
Like,
understand.
is this a national what? Is this a national issue? Like, why? What?
I'm as confused as you.
Governors, ministers in Kano to finalize. Are they the imam?
It's meant to be a family thing now.
Are they?
So
I don't. That things.
you have your invited guest already, so why are you?
No. So they are waiting for the governors to come so that the wedding can be concluded.
If they don't invite them, of course they can't be there.
No. I want to understand why that is what is needed to finalize. Is it that the governors are going to also take undertaking that they were present?
Nothing you won't
This is
see in
just
this
funny.
country.
This is just funny. I know.
And you
I can't count right now.
You can't. You can get that story on page 6 of the leadership newspaper. And also Zamfara governor defects to APC tomorrow. You people should keep
You should keep swinging.
Going
Since you are swinglers.
in and out, on and off.
Since they are now swinglers.
It's very easy for them, It's very, very easy.
This is
for them.
why. This is honestly why I still say let's just know. Let
that we have
INEC
just 2 ruling
let
committee
INEC
parties in this
scrap
country.
scrap
And
all.
let's know who we're fighting. Let's
Honestly,
know where we're facing.
Honestly, scrap all these other parties. Let's know that we only run a 2-party system in this country. This swing here. No, you're not a whore. Stop swinging.
It's as simple as that.
Oh.
Well, you can get that story also on page 6 of the leadership newspaper. Audit query did not indict NIPC Auditor General. You can get that story on page 51 of the leadership. Federal government moves to tax Facebook,
Yeah,
Twitter,
we're still on this matter.
others.
We're still on this matter. That's
It's
it.
a serious
And my
one.
problem is, okay, you want to tax social media, right? All the businesses you're taxing, how is it benefiting Nigeria as a
Because
whole?
we're not feeling the impact.
Nigeria as a whole. Look at Lagos State government, for instance. Lagos State is a state that can literally run on its own, right? We have taxpayers, right? People are paying their taxes.
A lot of them.
And we can see, even though it's not like as if it's all the result, but we can see that the money is being used. Every other time you're passing somewhere, there's road construction, there's some these are taxpayers' money, right? It could be more, but at least this particular state can literally run itself because it's already stable, right? But Nigeria is taxing so many people already, so many businesses already. So what is the impact of that? So if you start to tax social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, still, where would it be remitted to? Is it the one that Monkey is going to carry the money and go? Or the one that Cobra is going to help us with Walu?
We need money right now. We don't want to borrow. So we're looking for every means to, make money. So this, I think, is another means. Lastly, on the leadership newspaper, you can get that story on page 10 of the leadership. Supreme Court resumes hearing on $15 billion petrol union case today. Well, if you are interested in that story, which I know you are, you can get the story on page 9 of the leadership newspaper.
Okay, because of that, we're just going to take one more newspaper, the Blueprint newspaper, and at the top of the paper you can see Matawale set to join Ayade Umahi in APC on Tuesday. Yeah, okay. The writer under that is Senators, 6 reps, ex-deputy governor Wakala, Yuguda follow governors. Those are the people that are defecting with them. We are yet to be briefed to Ologbidion. Right. Okay. Deputy governor, federal lawmaker, classic remain in PDP. There's a question mark to that. And also, Secondus must go. Youth Vanguard insist. All of this can be found on page 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. Bakers threaten flour producers with indefinite strike. I'm sorry.
Wait, bakers are actually threatening flour producers.
It's expensive now. We're not gonna see
if
bread
you're
to
producing
buy.
it, then
We're
you
not
can
gonna
have it
see
yourself.
bread to buy anymore.
No, I don't blame them now. See it. If everything keeps going up, it falls back on the customers.
Because bread is about to be 1,000 naira.
It began from 150. Now
I can't.
Now you get bread for 450, 400 because you want to eat bread.
This is a lot.
That's the money for a pot of soup for some people.
Why am I laughing?
I want to ask
okay,
the
so
question.
you can find the strike threats on page 25 of the Blueprint newspaper. At the top, also you can see NNPC's $223.9 million. Polaris blames previous management for irregularities. That can be found on page 24. The evaluation to increase debt services burden over 3.3 trillion naira in 2021. And at the headline, the bold headline, insecurity in FCT, that's Abuja. Uni Abuja Varsity, Uni Abuja Veritas Varsity, Coed, Zuba, 5 others on red alert. The rider under that is, we are on our toes. Varsity spokesman is saying there is no need for military presence. Veritas is also saying schools environment vulnerable. Students are saying these are all God do. There is cause for worry among students. Security experts are saying withdraw VIPs, police personnel to secure campuses. Students leaders tell federal government. I hope can be found
take action immediately
on page 6. I mean, the university is saying there's no need for honestly, there should not be military presence.
They don't have to. You don't have
the
to.
The police quite okay, but you know when there's this feeling when you have the military. Our time is up.
Ridiculous.
Okay, so we'll just run through. Masari to Castina residents, it's time to defend yourselves. Urges citizens not to vacate houses, farm and for bandits. This can be found on page 23. Gunmen kill pregnant woman, adopts husband in Kwara State. That can be found on page 15 of the Blueprint newspaper. First scarcity looms as Ipman threatens shutdown of station store. That can also be found on page 13. Buhari's son, Yusuf, marries Emir of Bichi's daughter. Congratulations to him. That can be found on page 15. Anambra 2021, PDP elects 2 Goba candidates, 11 APC aspirants kick. That can be found on page 20 of the Blueprint newspaper. Oh my God, that's the much we can take. We are so ahead of our time or behind time for the next show. But hey, thank you for watching. For those who are watching, are connected with us on our social media platform on Facebook and YouTube, big ups to you. And for listening to us, thank you also for being a part of the newspaper review. We come your way from Monday all through to Friday here on Lagoon Radio. Coming up next is the Moment of Truth with Venerable Henry Adelegon. Okay, so stay connected. Love you. Peace out. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Too much love.